Quaid Azam Part 173. So it were the congressionals who, in fact, had separated the Muslims. Well, Quaid Azam had certainly got very disappointed for his career that started in the late 890s at the end of the 19th century, and then 20th century by 1931. And he got so disappointed. After Second Roundtable Conference, he stayed in England, he stayed in London. And then he was brought back to India on the request of Sir Allama Muhammad Iqbal. And what was the cause of the discontent? What was the cause of the disappointment? In fact, the trustless attitude of these congressionals. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah is not just the benefactor of the Muslims, but he's also the benefactors of Sikh. See, the Sikh have not received their independence to this day. Had they followed the lines of Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, they would have got independence at that time when Pakistan got independent. What has happened to the Dalit? Because of the movement by Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, the British Empire had consented to give separate electorate to Dalits, the low class, the scheduled class, and they had also decided the same for the Sikh community as well. Now let's talk about, I don't want to say anything about Gandhi's personality. I don't want to say any unnoble thing against Gandhi. Many of the people have said different remarks, they have passed different remarks on Gandhi, and I don't want to say anything on my part over here in my videos. Well, he had faked his personality. The moment he said that I had been working for Dalits, he was working against Dalits. The moment he said I'm working for Sikh, he was working against Sikh. And he convinced Sikh not to consent for that separate electorate. He convinced Dalits not to have those separate electorates. Come on, if the scheduled caste in 1935 could have get those separate electorates, they would have progressed, they would have developed, they would have prospered. But Gandhi did not allow them. Quaid Azam was the benefactor and the Gandhi was foe at that time. Something of a benefit that the British Empire was ready to give to the Dalit, Gandhi brought it for the Dalit. No, I beg your pardon. Jinnah brought it for Dalit, and Gandhi was a hurdle to it. Jinnah brought it for Sikh, and Gandhi was a hurdle to it. Well, in fact, this is what I see about the noble people. When they fake their nobility, they are actually not noble people. Sometimes they just fake themselves. And there are so many, even if I talk about the Nehru's personality, they had faked their personality. When they talked in favor of the wretched people, they were not in favor of the wretched people. In reality, they were working against those wretched people and they were serving their own interest. And that's what they have been doing. That's what has happened in the Khilafat movement as well. When the Khilafat movement, they took the reins of that Khilafat movement and put it down. Well, if there is something wrong, say for instance the violence is there, you should try to perturb the situation where there is no violence. Put a stop on the violence rather than putting a stop on the movement itself. And of course this was the game that played there. Sometimes, well, they were playing the puppets. In fact, the puppet game was there. Quaid Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah, since he was a very genius man and he had his tolerance, he had interacted, he had experienced many of the things over there, and he took the right decision at the right time, and he knew what their intentions were. Who were the separatists? The British were the separatists. The Hindus were the separatists. The majority were the separatists. And the Muslims did not separate India. In fact, they were forced to separate India. And of course, they are a global character. They certainly needed to have a sovereignty of their own. And they won the sovereignty for themselves, and that's what we call Pakistan for ourselves. In fact, Pakistan is the solution to the problem of India.